before we get into.
I'm just looking at your list.
Doug?
I did have one more thing here.
Wait a minute, Beth's got one more thing.
We have an application for employment from Mark Richardson.
We hiring?
Just wanted to show those before the board if anybody brings them in.
Not till there's a position open, as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
So if any, in the future, if anybody should bring them in, I just put them in a file.
yeah, you can put them in a file until we have an opening somewhere.
Thank you.
What do you have on the January and February meeting dates, Beth?
Yeah.
I just needed to know since,
Do you have anything to report, Doug?
Yeah, I think Scotty's in front of me though, isn't he?
Wait a minute, we gotta do this January and February meeting dates she had on here.
January is
The 21st is the third Monday. Is that a problem?
yeah, that's the problem, that's a holiday.
Holiday.
Martin Luther King. So do you wanna do it to the 22nd or the week
Your
before?
office is closed, right?
14th too soon.
For me, it's okay.
Well, see, originally we used to have a second Monday of the month, and it
Yeah.
went to third because it was better to get stuff done from the first of the month up till.
So, the 14th?
All right, Tom.
What time?
The 14th of January for a January meeting. 21st is out because that's holiday.
Yeah, I thought we agreed on the 22nd before.
It doesn't really say.
We,
Talked to
well,
Renee.
Well, I think we did talk about something.
Yeah, we
Just
did.
talked
I
about
can't
it,
be
but
here on the 22nd.
yeah, she can't be here on the
Yeah.
22nd. So
Could we even go to a Wednesday night, Thursday,
Well, I don't think it's
20?
23rd, okay?
Yeah, 23rd is fine with me.
Okay,
Okay with you, Rita?
okay. And then February, it's President's Day, so
Same deal?
Go with the
20th?
It's the 20th of Wednesday.
third. Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So those will need to be
Okay,
published.
motion made, meetings on 23rd and on the 20th, right?
Yes, January 23rd and February 20th,
Thank you.
6 o'clock.
I second that motion, unanimous.
I'll be
Okay.
sending those in to get that changed.
We do have to reorganize the board. Yield the gavel, hate to do that, but
Well, if you hate to do it, then I can change it.
it's customary to rotate, so I nominate Keith Beckel, president of the board.
I would second it if I could, but I can't.
You can.
He's a fine president. Who's left? Okay.
All
He
of them.
started it. He started it.
Okay, now we need a vice president.
I'd nominate John if I could, but I can't.
So I guess what I'm hearing, I'm nominating you.
If you don't, it won't be done. I won't be disappointed either. Okay, I'll second that. That's unanimous. Okay, got that business done.
Okay, I've got a question on meetings since we're discussing it. The opening of the two things on the trash thing. The bids are due in on the 11th, that's Friday, 1600, is that correct,
Yes,
Beth?
yes, sir.
Okay, were you planning on having a meeting at that time on the 11th of January to open the bids? We don't have to take any action on them, but you gotta open them
You
at
have
that
to do
time.
something, yeah. You have to have something on the calendar to do that.
After what?
You have to have something on the calendar to do that. What day is the week?
She said we'd have to have something on the calendar in order to do that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
11th is on Friday.
That's a Friday. And all it would take, all you need is you say that you're gonna open the bids at that time. You don't have to take any action on them. But you have to open the bids on the date that they're supposed to be brought in.
We'll call a special meeting at, 6 o'clock on
Well, we just will do it at 4 o'clock, the end of the business day, haven't we?
Yeah, you can do that.
That's when they're due in, by 4
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yes.
4 o'clock's good for me.
Okay, another question on that while we're talking. Beth, how many different companies have requested the RFP?
but one, after speaking with them, they, only one. One is opt-out now, so just one.
Okay, have we notified, the two big ones, because they wanted to bid Rumpke and, what's the other one, Republic? They wanted to bid on things.
I haven't.
Well, if you would, I think it'd behoove us to call them and say, by the way, this RFP was published, in the, local paper.
I don't think
And
that,
it's due on the 11th
not
of
the board.
January, and if you're going to bid, you better get it in.
If somebody outside the board wants to do that, I think that, the board probably shouldn't do that, or the clerk.
Yeah, that looks like you're showing favoritism when you look good.
And anyone else that, you know, I mean, the more competition we get, the better price we get, in my opinion.
Tom Rita just said she didn't think the board or clerk ought to call them.
I think that's probably a good idea, Tom, from the board's perspective too.
Okay?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, anybody
if
outside.
no one does, this has all been for a waste of time. Because if we only get one bid and it's open, it's probably gonna be too high. Because they're not in the recycling business, so, yeah, I guess that's the way it's gonna be, so. But
Well,
that's the way I feel about it, I mean, it's been a total headache for nothing, if we can't do that.
Well, Tom, you can have anybody you want call. I mean, it's no prohibition on you, you know, if you talk to anybody, your neighbor or your wife or anybody, if they want, they're free to call. They're not.
They're free to call, anybody else is free to call, but I
Yeah.
can't, or.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you should as the town board.
No, I
member.
definitely don't want to as a town board member.
Yeah, I think that's probably
If
right.
a family member wants to call, they're a town resident. Or, your neighbor or whoever.
Okay.
If they're interested and they want to call, I
So
mean,
as far as we know, we've just had two, and one of them's is a no-bid type situation, is that correct, Beth?
That's correct,
Okay.
because they cannot do the recycling.
And neither of the big boys, even though they had expressed a bunch of interest before.
Okay,